In my 7 decades of observing recant politics and business, I've discovered that the most telling moments don't make a lot of noise. They are the silent departures, the attorneys who cease coming making back phone calls. And we're precisely that. Observing at this moment, former head of state Donald Trump entered a Manhattan skyline courtroom this morning in anticipation of his defense group at his side. Rather, he found himself all but alone. 3 lead lawyers left the case in what's said to be making be an unusual courtroom collapse. Not a dispute, but a total disintegration. Politics has nothing to do with this. This relates to what occurs when there are cracks in the foundation. If you're observing, you must comprehend the significance of this to all Americans. Now, if you're concerned about accountability's future in this nation, press the like button. And because of what I'm going to reveal, please subscribe. Everything is changed by you. Allow me to paint the image. It was 9-0 when Trump arrived, anticipating a full table for defense. What he received 2 junior associates and no chairs. Christopher, his principal lawyer, was there. Lawyer was there. There was no sign of Key. Neither was Todd Blanche, who dealt with the majority of delicate elements. Haba Alina, legal strategy's public face, was absent as well. 3 important players have left. The loss of 1 lawyer could be explained away, but 3 simultaneously appear on morning of an important hearing. That's not a coincidence. It's a message. The judge postponed the proceedings for 45 minutes, simply to determine who was acting on behalf of the accused. The previous president or president is appearing in court, and the magistrate must find out who is speaking on his behalf. This is not a minor civil case. Instances. This is the case of the Manhattan D pertaining to the purported fabrication of business documents related to 2016. Contributions to campaigns. We are discussing 34 felonies. Everybody has potential jail time. According to the prosecution, Trump and his group, Matter Group, made payments that were often disguised as legal costs. They have records and witnesses, as well as a paper trail that spans years. In intricate situations, your legal team isn't merely protecting you. They're your interpreters, your shield, strategist. When your protection vanishes, you become vulnerable. In hindsight, the symptoms were visible. After 3 weeks, Trump's court documents are becoming shorter and less specific. Court Junior handled appearances, employees. Motions that ought to have been filed weren't. In the world of finance, we refer to these leading signs when a business begins fighting after executives have stopped appearing. As astute investors are aware, there's a problem. Sources near said team said there were increasing conflicts about testimony strategy and, most importantly, honesty. When attorneys wonder if their client is to be truthful, the partnership is finished already. Last was the first domino to fall. Friday evening, Trump's principal lawyer, Christopher Case, and the former Florida Solicitor General emailed the court at 11:47 p.m. Notice of the subject line of filing a withdrawal late on Friday, just 72 hours before a significant court hearing, circulates. Burning a bridge is what that is. The email was cold and brief. It referenced fundamental disagreements about communication with clients and case strategy. The term client communication is lawyers communicate for important reasons. It indicates that the customer wasn't acting straight. Kay had been the most reliable person for Trump, defender. His exit wasn't merely a lack of legal expertise. It was a loss of validity. On Sunday morning, Todd Blanche came after. Blanche has dated Trump through several inquiries. He was more aware of the specifics than everyone else. He spent months of preparation for the trial. Next, his notification of withdrawal was abruptly released. Exposing. Blanche expressed worries regarding duties related to professional duty. That's shorthand for moral dilemmas. When an attorney argues they are unable to proceed because of accountability in their work, they're claiming that going on would be against their swearing. A lawyer who collaborated with Trump for several years, who spent a great deal of time and vitality, abruptly determines he can't proceed without going against his ethic. That is an attorney stating, I am unable to defend this without sacrificing my identity. I've witnessed XX leave the company for comparable causes. They arrive at a certain point where they are unable to perform without going too far. At that point, it's regarding honesty. Hours on Monday morning, Alina Habba withdrew herself prior to the hearing. Trump had made Habba his most prominent defender, who may be seen on all news programs, assaulting the judge, the prosecutors, the programs assaulting, and the whole system. She withdrew mysteriously. Single explanation, simply a single sentence. Hereby, attorney Alina Habba declines to be represented in this issue. Just gone. No explanation. That silence is a powerful tool. When attorneys depart without providing a reason, mysteriously, it indicates either they were told to remain quiet or as they could put it, they were too harmful. These weren't on a budget. Lawyers, Kay received $1,200 an hour. Blanche's hourly wage was $650. Retainer. We're discussing millions in possible profits. Everybody walked away. When individuals leave that kind of money, money isn't the main focus. Arthur Enneron, a judge, sits at 9:45 a.m. 45 minutes late, Trump takes a seat with two youthful co-workers who appear terrified. The table used for prosecution is filled with knowledgeable lawyers, and Garan inquires, who is the principal attorney for the defensive, prolonged awkward silence. One, Your Honor, junior associate stands. I'm ready to move forward, but I might need an ongoing effort to hold on to new leads counsel. It was not acceptable to the judge. Your client faces 34 felonies, counselor. Matters. The court schedule was cleared. Are you not ready to speak on behalf of your customer? The associate turned to face Trump. Trump looked directly ahead. Didn't talk. Last but not least, Your Honor, I will do my best to serve as Mr. Trump's advocate today. You don't want me to try my hardest from your lawyer during a criminal trial. Someone is in over their head there. Take the lead. Joshua Steinlass, the prosecutor, stood alongside satisfaction that was scarcely disguised. The populace is prepared, Your Honor. We've been prepared for months. The accused party has had plenty of time. The populace is against any weight. Steinlass then filed a motion, contending that the large-scale departure was itself proof of awareness of guilt, a phrase used in law to describe actions implying that someone is aware that they've done something, is a dispute. When three skilled lawyers quit concurrently before a crucial hearing in spite of a huge salary, the most sensible answer is that they made a discovery. They were unable to defend. The magistrate didn't rule right away, but he didn't reject it. He would, in fact, take it under advice. During this time, Trump's actions were uncommon, even for him. He wasn't tweeting. He did not whisper. He simply gazed at the judge while sitting there with what genuine shock, one reporter said. Trump attempted to depart during a recess, but security prevented it since there had been no demand for recess. He overlooked it. Where he was, protocol was forgotten. That's not the Trump we know and love. That person is shaken. When the court returned, the less experienced associate attempted to argue against the dismissal motion. Evidently, something that was made weeks ago. This young lawyer had just finished reading. He faltered, incorrectly pronouncing legal terminology and case names needed to locate his position. The magistrate disputed it right away. Counselor, I've taken a look at this. It's worthless. Crucially, I don't believe you comprehend the points you're putting out. Let me clarify something that most people don't comprehend. Lawyers are not employed. Firearms that will argue anything to get money. They are court officials with moral duties that go beyond fulfilling their customer. All lawyers take an oath. They pledge to respect the law and behave honorably, and most importantly, not intentionally provide misleading evidence or testimony. If an attorney is aware that their client is lying and the proof is faked, or aware that a witness is they can't be instructed to commit perjury, take part. By doing this, they run the danger of losing their license, profession, and possibly criminal fees. When three lawyers depart at one point, they say, "We can no longer represent this customer without breaking your oath." In addition, there is a financial element. Reports state that Trump has found it difficult to cover his legal expenses, even if hundreds of millions of dollars were raised by supporters. A lot of money flowed to other costs. According to reports, Key hadn't been paid in 6 weeks. Blanche had bills past due by months. Abba had even halted obtaining payments as agreed. Attorneys deal with clients who don't pay on time. A huge exodus wouldn't result from that alone. However, combine ethical behavior with non-payment issues with a challenging client who has a losing the case. The computation is altered. Risk is greater than gain. Another element, reputation in the workplace. For the reputation of lawyers at this level is everything. It establishes which cases the customers hire them for, what they can take. Judges respect them. Christopher Key was a well-known lawyer in Florida. Overall, prior to the Trump lawsuit, he was renowned for brilliance and honesty. Now, following months of defending more unsupportable claims, his reputation has been hit. Eventually, it might be more expensive to keep on than to stop. Maybe his phone won't ring. His judgment may be questioned by clients. He can be viewed with suspicion by judges. We see this all the time in business. Executives connected to bankrupt businesses unexpectedly become unemployed. It turns into a poisonous relationship. Astute leaders are aware of when to back off. This is not the first instance of the president facing a situation with important individuals leaving the ship. The nearest analogy is Richard Nixon in the Watergate scandal, especially on Saturday evening. October 1973 slaughter. Nixon gave his attorney general instructions to the special prosecutor should be fired. The AG declined and resigned. Nixon gave the order for the deputy AG. He resigned and declined as well. The Solicitor General at last concurred. The resignations marked a sea change. They gave Congress and the public a signal that there was a serious problem when those in positions of authority abandon the center cannot hold in principle. When Enron failed, lawyers and months before, in fact, the company went down. They observed the scam, anticipated it, and didn't want to be present when it occurred. Arthur made an effort to stick it out. When the truth was revealed, they lost more than just Enron. They lost everything. Among the most prestigious accountancy businesses were demolished because they spent too much time with a dishonest customer. The instructions connection to misconduct is hazardous. Astute experts are aware of when to sever relations. Another lesson is coming up about leaders who are isolated. When advisors give no more candid criticism, as soon as you're in danger if your crew deserts you. In business, I witnessed it several times, periods. CEO makes poor choices. Excellent people go. Yes, man's men are hired by the CEO. Making decisions gets worse. Better people go. The cycle quickens until the CEO and the remaining devoted people. Trump is going into that spiral. He is losing experience. Lawyers who would oppose him, he'll be surrounded by lawyers who lack experience, who refuses to challenge judgments. That isn't a formula for success. Let's discuss money. This legal breakdown has had huge financial ramifications that go beyond legal charges. Finding new lawyers comes first. Trump requires a skilled criminal defense attorney. Attorneys ready to take on a case right away are underway, already harmed, and already the general public. That is more expensive. Most likely retainers worth millions of dollars only to obtain someone inside. More significantly, there's the price of waiting. This drags every day. Continue. Trump's costs are rising in various situations. In New York, civil fraud, Florida classified documents and examples of election meddling all need legal teams. Teams are costly and are all occurring at the same time. Trump has been incredibly effective in raising funds from supporters. He is now having legal issues into possibilities for fundraising, but even there are flaws in his fundraising. Current reports on campaign finance indicate a decline in sums donated. Donor exhaustion is settling in. The pressing need that motivated donations are declining. More importantly, significant funders are subtly withdrawing. No announcements to the public, but behind the scenes, there won't be any large checks. Why? Risk is understood by sophisticated donors. They observe this legal circumstance, declining and unwilling to squander away valuable money badly. The influence on Trump's company empire. The Trump Group continues to function, but faces significant headwinds. Declining brand value license agreements breaking down, underperforming properties, and a legal mess exacerbate everything. Who would like to do S with someone who is unable to have their own attorneys? What? The bank offers recognition for someone with potential convicted for a crime. I've been in the company for more than 70 years. One item, my uncertainty kills deals. People are unsure of what to do next. They stop investing money. They observe, wait, search for opportunities that are safer. The court gave Trump 10 days to keep the new advice. Although that seems like a lot, it isn't. Locating a seasoned criminal available defense lawyers, reseasoned defense lawyers available, and willing to step up to one of the biggest challenges is speed. If Trump is unable to locate qualified counsel during that period, the judge said he will designate a public defender. Public defenders possess the ability to, however, you don't want them to face 34 crimes as a former head of state. They are underpaid, overworked, and lack resources of this size. In terms of politics, until Trump, this is a nightmare until 2024 campaign. Since then, he has been the powerful leader who never gives up. However, being by themselves in a courtroom while leading attorneys who desert you don't project strength. It conveys weakness. His Republican opponents in the primary will take this on. Defense lawyers available in this on. They will inquire as to how someone cannot maintain their own legal team. Able to govern the nation. It's terrible. Very challenging to overcome. This provides nourishment for the claim that Trump's unbeatable status was always a delusion. That the walls are actually getting closer. Let's be practical. Trump is likely to find new lawyers. They won't have as much expertise or trustworthy, but somebody will take the instance. The fees will be outrageous. Quality doubtful, but he'll have a portrayal. The matter will proceed, moving forward with challenges and delays. The evidence presented by the prosecution is substantial. Additionally, without a powerful Trump defense team, acquittals are getting fewer. Most likely result, a plea agreement acknowledging lower charges or conviction on a few counts at least. Both are detrimental to someone attempting to regain the presidency. I've always thought the most crucial element in trust is the foundation of leadership. When individuals have faith, they will see you through. Challenging times, they will provide you with the benefit of the doubt. However, trust is delicate. It takes years to construct and seconds to ruin. Among the quickest methods of placing individuals in a situation where they must decide whether to remain loyal to you or their own moral character. That's what took place here. Trump's lawyers were compelled to decide between representing him while upholding professional standards. They made an ethical decision. I've stated 20 years are needed to establish a reputation and wreck it in 5 minutes. If you consider it, you'll take action. In a different way, Trump is becoming aware of this in real time. For many years, his reputation was as a prosperous entrepreneur, a negotiator who consistently prevailed. That kept him going through everything. However, reputation marketing without content is just that, marketing. Reality eventually catches up. There is a lesson for business people, investors, anyone building something, people. Long lasting, be in the company of those who are honest with you, even when uneasy. The instant you encircle yourself exclusively among those who concur, who never argue with someone who puts your ego first, you're in trouble over reality. You're within an echo chamber. Echo chambers as well are harmful. Trump has lost his sense of reality. Verify. Those who would tell him were lost. Harsh realities. He is now suffering the consequences. You may believe that this is only about Trump. Why should I give a damn? This is important to all Americans. Initially, this is about responsibility. If influential people stay away from repercussions forever, if they violate the rules without actually being fined, the system isn't functional for anybody. Justice postponed is justice denied. Second, precedent is at play here. How we respond to this will affect the future. Instances, the criteria that we use here become the norms by which we live. Watch for specific signals as this develops. Keep an eye on who else withdraws. See how fast he finds a substitute. Lawyers and their histories. Observe the judge's reaction to delays. These you can determine where this is going from the indications. When it comes to investment, we refer to this as the marketplace. The larger picture is about the power's vulnerability. Trump appeared to be unable to be stopped for years. He lived scandals that might have ruined other politicians. However, even the strongest, seemingly solid foundations can break.